Well, good Thursday evening, WNBA and LA Sparks fans, and welcome into the LA Sparks 365 Network, your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home of the WNBA and your two-time WNBA champion Los Angeles Sparks. And welcome in, folks, to the post-game show for the evening here tonight as the Sparks tonight just get completely whitewashed at home. And the Phoenix Mercury folks win their 14th consecutive game by the final score of 93-73. Hello again, everybody. Cal McClure joining you folks here tonight from Studio 171 in San Diego. Here on a very hot Thursday evening here in San Diego, folks. It's been a very warm couple days here in San Diego, and hopefully the weather is nice and beautiful where we might be joining us from here, whether you're here or like my man RAPHAEL ESPARZA up there in Vegas or New Orleans. And folks, by the way, after the show, and once it does go final here on the network, I will post the link to my interview from this morning with RAPHAEL ESPARZA from Doc Sports and a few other places involving sports odds. And we did talk WNBA today, so we hope that RAPHAEL is watching. And Ralphie, if you are, go ahead and send us a tweet to either at CALLAN'S3 or at LA Sparks 365. But folks, to the task at hand, where the LA Sparks were completely destroyed tonight by the longtime WNBA Western Conference rivals, the Phoenix Mercury, who have won their 14th consecutive game. They beat LA by 20 tonight, 93-73. We'll get to the line score first before we get to the recap, folks, and what a disgusting game it was for the Sparks this evening. Final line score for the Mercury, folks. Turning point of the game, 36 points in the first quarter for the Merc. 25, 14, 18 across the board for a game total of 93 for the Sparks. 19, 17, 25, 12 across the board for a game total of 73. The Mercury rout the Sparks for their 14th straight win. We'll have more about this later on, but from the AP, DeWanna Bonner scored a season-high 22 points to lead the Phoenix Mercury to their 14th straight victory, 93-73 over the Los Angeles Sparks on Thursday night. Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner had 18 points, and Candace Dupree had 10 and 11 for the Mercury, who now have won 20 games. They're the first team to get to 20 games. 4 wins shy of the Sparks' WNBA record of 18 straight in 2001. Nneka Ogwumike had 23 points. Jantel Levender had 16 for the Sparks, who now fall to 10 and 14, who lost their 5th straight home game. And Candace Parker, in her first game back since taking last night off due to her knee injury, had 14 and 9 rebounds. The Mercury led by double digits from 25-15. Taurasi made a three-pointer early in the third to give Phoenix its biggest lead at 64-30 before the Sparks went on a 23-9 run to get to 73-61. Ogwumike had 19 points in the second half, and Magic Johnson was in attendance in tonight's game. All right, folks, before we get to the recap of the game, in my point of view, folks, we'll get to the pretty one-sided game stats tonight, folks, favoring Phoenix tonight all the way across, basically. Game stats: field goal percentage, Phoenix 53%, LA shot 38% this evening. Three-point shooting, 21% for Phoenix, 33.3% for LA. Free throw shooting, 82% Phoenix, 73% for LA. And the other game totals: 10-7 offense total rebounds for LA, 11-6 rebounding for LA offensively, 12 turnovers for the Sparks, 8 for Phoenix, 11-6 fast break points for the Mercury. And again, folks, the mind-blowing stat: the Mercury led all day. 26 points is their biggest lead, and the Sparks didn't come close to sniffing the lead all the night, folks. They were completely out-dueled in the paint. 48-36 points in the paint favoring the Mercury. Back to the player stats again here, folks, real quickly. DeWanna Bonner, 22 for Phoenix, 11 rebounds for Candace Dupree. The White Mamba, Diana Taurasi, 7 assists. And two players with 3 steals, and Brittany Griner once more 3 blocks for the Sparks. Nneka Ogwumike, 23 points. Candace Parker, 9 rebounds in her first game back from her knee injury. 2 players with 3 assists and 3 players with 1 steal, and Jantel Lavender had the lone block for the Sparks this evening. Boy, oh boy, folks. I mean, going from last night when I was at the game where it went wire to wire all night, it was a thriller, to a game that I knew, and I pretty much knew wholeheartedly it would be a ugly game, to say the least. And I will tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I knew firsthand if Phoenix got off on a roll again like they have the past 2 games, it would be flat out ugly, and that's exactly what it was, folks, what the doctor basically ordered again. The box score here for the Sparks for the Mercury tonight, again, Dewana Bonner, 22 points. Candice Dupree, 10 points. Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi each had 18. Penny Taylor had 12. Erin Phillips, 3. And Misty Bass had 2. And Shay Murphy, 8 points off the bench. For the Sparks, Nneka Ogwumike, 23. Candace Parker, 14. Chantel Lavender, 16 points. Alana Beard, 8. Tolliver, 7. Candice wins her lone three-pointer of the game. Got LA back within a few. 3 points for her, and Lindsey Harding had 2. Gruda and Harrington held scoreless. Abdi and Green did not play. Coaches' decisions. 2 technical fouls, folks, charged in the contest. We'll get to that in a moment. Both on the Mercury between Candice Dupree and Diana Taurasi. The Arena Stats game held at the Staples Center in downtown LA. The officials were Ron Goldbean, Thomas Nunez, and Tony Dawkins. The attendance tonight, 10,047 in front, and time of the game, 1 hour and 57 minutes. But, folks, again, going back to, let's revisit the first quarter real quick, folks, because that right there was already, folks, that was the dagger. That was, cut and dry, end the ball game, turn off the television, and go watch something else, folks, because as soon as Phoenix got off on that mammoth roll and they were up by that many, this game was basically over. Now, I know that it was an uphill climb, folks, but basically, first half, this game was over. I mean, 36 in the first for Phoenix, 25 after that, and the Sparks never got going. I mean, Candace Parker did her job for the first half, but we'll get to that later on as well about her second half kind of falling off. She did play 37 minutes, folks, coming back from her knee injury. And I will say this real quick, folks, and not because I'm a big homer for Candace, but don't throw her under the bus, folks. I mean, come on. She set out last night. She's played in every game and basically has been our one key component all season, and you're just going to up and throw the MVP under the bus, folks. I just don't quite get that. I'm not saying that because I'm a big fan of hers and stuff, and I met her last night for the first time in person. But seriously, I mean, if we're really going to start doing that, folks, we're going to start throwing players under the bus because they took care of some personal business in Russia or someone was injured, and it takes me a while to get back in the fray. And to say that she's not caring or whatever, no, I don't have any time for that, folks. I don't think anyone else does either. But I mean, that's for another time and place. But I just don't appreciate that. I mean, and again, folks, I'll say it again, but I'm not saying that, to defend Candace by any means necessary, folks. But come on, I mean, she's got to at least take a break here and there, and she can't do everything for this LA team. So until she gets some help, that's exactly what it is at the end of the day. So getting back to the task at hand, ladies and gentlemen, again, just the first half was all Phoenix. I mean, the entire game was Phoenix, but that first half was all Phoenix. I mean, it was basically, every other time you turn around, folks, the Mercury are scoring points left and right, in LA had no answer. I mean, last night they couldn't find a way to guard Tina Charles. And again, tonight you can't find a way to put anybody in on Brittany Griner, who was perfect to start the game. She finished 8 of 9 tonight, 2 of 4 on her free throws, and finished plus 34 in efficiency. And I mean, you've got to put somebody on her. I mean, you can put Parker. If it's going to take you to put all 3 of your 6'4" players on Griner, do it, because it might actually do some wonders for once, and everything else included. But I mean, can it get better? Will it get better? It got better for one, folks, that the Seattle Storm were defeated tonight by the Liberty in overtime in Seattle, which keeps the Sparks' distance safer right now from the Storm for the 4th seed in the Western Conference. The updated standings right now, folks, with the Mercury winning their 14th straight game, they now go to 20-3 on the year, 10-1 at home, 10-2 on the road, 10-0 in their last 10 played, 14 straight wins. Also, with the Seattle loss, that punched the postseason ticket for the Minnesota Lynx, who clinched their postseason berth. So 2 of the 4 spots have been clinched, 2 to go in the Western Conference, and right now that Eastern Conference remains wide open in the Eastern Conference. I will, again, folks, tonight the Sparks get whitewashed at home and routed by the Phoenix Mercury 93-73 in a game that was all Phoenix from the get-go of the game tonight. And I'll tell you what, folks, like I told the RAPHAEL ESPARZA today, who we believe is watching the network tonight. If he's not, well, he'll probably catch it on tape delay. But I will say this, folks. I told him though today that, you know, I mean, as much as it looks good for Phoenix right now, folks. Yeah, 14 straight wins though. But again, anything happens in the postseason, and we saw it last year with Chicago, folks, how they dominated, owned that regular season, and fell flat on their face. Now, it's been a good run for the Mercury. Will they get to 18 or more? I don't think so, because, I mean, I'm not, trying to, be a homer for the Sparks, but I just don't know if they can continue to ride this wave of momentum. I'm sure they can, because they have the talent to do so. But at the same time, though, I mean, it's good and bad. In my point of view, that it's good that you're trying your best to get the 1 seed and you're just pounding everybody in front of you. I mean, you're doing your job. I mean, you're winning the games by a big margin. But at the same time, though, there is some concern in my mind, though, that this team might crumple in the postseason, carrying that long winning streak if they still carry it through the postseason. Or at this point in time, they've won so many games right now that at this point in time, you kind of have to wonder, can they continue to, can they sustain this momentum right now? Can they keep building off this? And if they, when they get the 1 seed, though, I mean, is there some concern, though, by not just Mercury fans, but the entire league, by the entire fan bases of the WNBA, that, I'm not so sure about this Mercury team that I want to keep thinking that they might win the title. A quick stat to note here, folks, from John H. Stenmiller. He says, one last Mercury fun fact for the night. This is the fourth, tonight's win clinches the Mercury's 4th 20-win season in their illustrious 18-year history. So congratulations to the Phoenix Mercury on their accomplishment tonight. Their 4th 20-win season in franchise history. So again, the final score of the night, Phoenix 93, Los Angeles 73. Now back to the Sparks, folks. And for one, folks, back to Candace Parker. Again, Candace had 12 tonight, or 14 tonight. And yes, I know she sort of fell flat on her face in the second half, folks. But again, not saying this, listen to my pipes closely, folks, not saying this to be a homer because she's my favorite player, folks. But ease off on the tweets about her quitting, about her not caring. Folks, come on now. I mean, we're talking the MVP of the league here, folks, and she's coming off of taking her first night off all season. Now, I know that we want to hold her to a higher, hold her accountable. She's kind of, up there a bit, but at the same time, though, folks, if you've actually played any sport and you've had to battle through an injury, it takes you time to come back. Now, in a case of taking 1 game off or taking, 16 games off like Wiggins, it'll take time to get back in the fray. Now, I know that Candace looked hot to start, folks, but in my view, it just looked like she was out of gas. She just really wasn't herself, folks. And it's not, and in no way, folks, is this about her quitting or giving up on the season of a team, folks. It's a few things. Frustration for one, that the team is in this predicament right now that they've been struggling all year. It's frustration, but 2, coming off of an injury, folks, where she's played, I think, all year through a few different injuries that we will never know about. We've had the injury game 1 in Seattle. She's had taped up fingers for pretty much the entire year on her shooting hand. Her index finger, and then her her ring finger's been taped up. She's had a taped up wrist. She's had a bit of a banged up knee and an ankle problem, folks. So, things are piling up for her, folks. So I don't think in any way I don't think in any way, shape, form, or size is Candace Parker giving up on the season or giving up on the Sparks. I mean, I think it's frustration. I think it's frustration for one, because the team is underachieving. They've had a bad season. And 2, though, folks, she is probably battling injuries that we have no clear idea what she could be facing. I mean, we know that she's had, some finger problems. She's had a few, she's had, the knee that was bugging her last night, an ankle problem, a hip flexor problem. So there's been some lingering injuries, folks, but in no way, in no fashion, and in no way is Candace Parker giving up on the Sparks, giving up on her career, or giving up on anything because of one game, folks. I mean, I don't know what it is, folks. And it's kind of tough to kind of be on Twitter sometimes to kind of read the fans' opinion. And I respect everyone's opinion about it. But at the same time, though, you have to look at the big picture that in every game, folks, it's been Candace Parker versus the opposition. And I know I say that a lot, folks, but it's the flat-out truth. I mean, I know that myself and a few other people are on the same page, but at the same time, though, folks, I mean, I don't mean to kind of be rude here, but what will it take for the fans out there to realize that in every game played in some fashion, it's always been Parker and someone else always playing the opposition because Harding's gone to sleep and, you know, she's nowhere to be found half the time. Wiggins was hurt. Beard is hit and miss sometimes. Aguma, Kane, Lavender, I think have been the most consistent players that help out Parker a lot. So I'll scratch that, folks. So normally it's been Parker, Aguma, Kane, and Lavender against the opposition. Tolliver's been here, then somewhere in Russia. You know, Harding has, you know, basically stung up the joint all season, and she can't hit a moving, you know, and she really can't hit anything at all right now. She's had a lot of problems with her shot. Elena Beard's been hit and miss, folks, at the same time as well. Tolliver's been gone, and, you know, the bench has sort of, you know, gone down the tubes as well, and everything else included, folks. But in no means, though, I think, I mean, as much as I love to respect everyone's opinion, on issues, just, when you're talking about the reigning MVP, who half the time is your lone player playing every night, I'm sorry, but you actually have no, in my view at least. I mean, there's no reason to go ape crap, because she took a night off to rest an injury, and then she came back tonight and had a rough night, folks. And that's all I'll say for it. You can say whatever you want, but I mean, in my view, folks, it's been the Los Angeles Parkers and a few tag team partners versus the opposition. So I mean, you can say whatever you want, folks, but this is Candace Parker's team, folks, and it will be for a long time. And please don't maybe break out the meme of brace yourselves. Here comes all the nonsense of her leaving LA, because it's not happening anytime soon. It's not going to happen. And we'll get back on track here, folks. Bringing the Sparks are decimated and are sledgehammered at home by the flaming hot Phoenix Mercury. Final score 93-73. Now, folks, to last night real quick here again, we did have our first annual and our first Spark 365 host meet and greet night, folks. It kind of went under the, got swept under the rug, folks. I had a massive traffic jam getting up from Kansas, San Diego up to LA last night. It took me 4 freaking hours to get out of San Diego up to Staples last night, folks, because the traffic was atrocious last night. I left here at 2:30, folks, and I did not get to Staples till the doors opened last night. So at the same time, folks, we had a great time last night. I did take a dad and his kid to the game last night. They had a blast. They loved the game. They said they would do it again next season. So I've got a few more fans that have joined the Sparks family. So that's good to see. And of course, folks, if you did not miss it, if you missed it, you didn't hear. But again, folks, dreams came true for this guy right here, folks. For the first time ever, I finally got the chance to talk and meet the reigning MVP and my go-to girl, Candace Parker, last night. Got her autograph twice last night. Got it after the game and at the post-game autograph session. And the best part, folks, Candace recognized me from Twitter and Instagram. So all the edits I've done, folks, she saw them all. She said she likes them all. And, of course, she had to sign a few of them. As you probably tell, folks, some of the ones I have done are behind me because I swapped those up because they were over here to my left of the screen on my wall over here with a few other ones I've done. I put them behind me because I'm putting up 2 of them that were autographed last night by Candace. So they'll be up on the wall over there. So as you can imagine, folks, I have been very, very, very happy, folks, very giddy, and very, very, just very excited and very pumped, folks, to finally sort of, I don't know. I mean, you can call it whatever. Well, you can call it whatever you want. But as you know very well, folks, there's sort of a brother-sister kind of relationship here, kind of between myself and Candace. So it was good to see her last night, folks. I know she didn't play, but at the same time, it was good to see her last night, meet her in person, and above all as well, of course, get her autographs. And the better part, folks, to at least know that she recognized me from somewhere. And that's what I marveled at on the way home is, you know, here's a pro athlete, folks, that actually recognized one of her fans, one of her diehard fans on social media last night. She recognized him, shook his hand, shoulder bumped him, talked to him, and, you know, was very happy and very upbeat to see him last night, folks. That was very, very cool, of course. So I will say it again, folks, as normal, but again, a big thank you to no one better than, you know, my favorite player, of course, that would be Candace Parker for the awesome night last night. Folks, before we wrap up here again, real quick, I do want to throw this out there again, folks, but again, if you did not catch my interview with Raul ESPARZA this morning on straightbecktalk.com, I will post the link for you folks where you guys can listen to my interview today. It was very well done, and we hope that RAPHAEL has watched or is watching the show tonight. If not, we'll probably invite him to watch tomorrow night, perhaps. So we'll see what occurs, folks. But again, if you did not catch the interview with myself and Raul ESPARZA and RAPHAEL ESPARZA today, folks, we will post a link for you folks again on the Sparks365 Twitter handle, and also it'll be down below in the box as well on this edition of Sparks365, folks. We're going to follow through the night, folks. The Mercury defeat the Sparks 93-73, folks. Now, folks, a quick standings alert, folks, because we know that that there is still some regards here with the Sparks facing the Storm right now for that 4 seed. The current updated Western Conference standings, folks: Phoenix at 20-3, #1, postseason berth clinched. Minnesota postseason berth clinched, 18-6. San Antonio 12-12, 3rd place, and the Sparks are 10-14 in 4th place in the Western Conference. Seattle with the loss now, 9-17, remain 2 games back of LA for the 4 seed. And again, the Sparks own the head-to-head tiebreaker should LA win. Should LA and Seattle finish tied for the 4th spot, the Sparks get the nod over them with the head-to-head tiebreaker, and the Shock are 3 out of the 4th spot, 8-16. Over in the East, Atlanta 15-7, Indiana 11-13, Washington 11-13, New York with the win tonight in overtime, 10-13 in 4th place, Connecticut 10-15, and the Chicago Sky 9-14. The other final tonight, folks, in the WNBA in overtime, New York defeats Seattle 84-80. I have a tweet here from Crystal Thomas at Pup1010. She asked, "I know you just did one, but when are you doing your next show?" We might be doing one again sometime soon. I'm just gonna tweet her real quick saying I'm willing to do one more. So just give me one brief second here, folks. So just give me a brief second here. All right, so that's been done. So we'll see if we might. So folks, we actually might have one more show here coming up after this. This we'll see what happens here, folks. But again, right now we are looking to close out here, folks. About the next 7 minutes or so here, folks. We might close out for a brief moment and then possibly come back here with another show here. We'll probably have the Fab Four up next here, real quick. Again, folks, the final score this evening here: the Sparks are clobbered by the Phoenix Mercury, 93-73. Now, folks, again, I'll go back to this again real quick, but again, we will be posting the link to the interview that was done today by RAPHAEL ESPARZA and myself today on straightbettalk.com. Try saying that 20 times fast. But the interview link, folks, will be down below in the box on this one, and also will be on the Sparks365 Twitter handle. We also post the link, folks, on the Sparks365 website as well, so you folks can also, that we can, just so you guys can figure out as well, and you guys can listen to it as well. So again, we're just working up things here. We possibly, folks, will be having another show here after this. But again, folks, real quick, again, we'll get to the final two scores tonight, folks, in the WNBA. Again, the final scores tonight in overtime: the New York Liberty 84, Seattle Storm 80, and of course the Phoenix Mercury 93, LA Sparks 73. Now, folks, we had a very, very sort of depressing news article yesterday, folks, that San Antonio Stars guard Becky Hammon will announce yesterday she will be retiring from the WNBA after this season. The 16-year veteran will retire after the conclusion of the 2014 WNBA season, the team announced today. She will end her career as the Stars' all-time leader in assists, points per game, and three-point field goals, and also is one of the WNBA's top 15 players named back in the 2011 fan poll. Folks, I will say this. There has not been one better player in this league that has represented this league with so much class, so much dignity, and so much and great play every night, folks, and a great story too, folks. And I'm one of those guys that love knockdown comeback stories, folks. And whether it's Elena Del Don with her Lyme disease and how she goes back home and how she turned down that offer from UConn, folks, Becky Hammon, folks. If you did not know this, folks, she was undrafted out of a college called Colorado State, who is not really known for basketball at the women's level, folks. They've been a very good Mountain West Conference team for many years on the men's side, but undrafted, went to North, folks, and was a staple of that franchise with the Liberty for so many years, led them to the finals many times, and then went to the Stars and got herself back on the map, folks. But I think just her age and her also in her her age and some injuries, I think she finally realized, folks, this is the time to finally kind of close, settle down and finally step aside, folks. And we wish her nothing but the best, folks. She's been one of my favorite players to watch too on San Antonio in her entire career. So we do wish Becky Hammon, folks, all the best in her future endeavors, folks, whether she'll be going into broadcasting with Fox Sports Southwest, or she might be, folks, getting a coaching offer with the San Antonio Spurs of the NBA. So again, folks, everyone here, myself, Chris, and everyone else, we want to really, folks, say thank you to all the hard work and the great career of one Becky Hammon, folks. She will be sorely missed, folks, and we wish her nothing but the best of luck in her future endeavors. Now, folks, I'm going to reiterate here, folks, that once more here, I'll be on vacation, folks. I'm leaving for Hawaii next Thursday. So, again, folks, our schedule for my vacation will be hit and miss. First week, folks, I am taking my vacation. I am getting away from Facebook and Twitter and from the network, folks, for a week. And then I'll be back after that, folks. We'll have next week off from Thursday until about next week, folks. So we'll be having some downtime here from the network. We will post, tweets, during the games and stuff like that, but we'll have no coverage, because of the time change from the Pac Coast to Hawaii. So we'll be taking a bit of a vacation here, folks, from the network coming up in the next few days. But again, folks, if anyone is interested out there, if you are heading out of LAX at about 8:20 in the morning, come holla at your boy at Terminal 4, 5, and 6 on a Delta flight, because I'll be going into LA from San Diego. And then from LA out to the island of Honolulu, Hawaii for some international baseball and some relaxation. But, folks, coming up at 10:40, we'll have the Fabulous Forum, folks, and we'll be joined by one of our newest correspondents. Crystal Thomas will join us up next at 10:40, folks, to recap this game and talk a bit about the WNBA. So we're just kind of getting out a few details here. Just trying to get iron out a few things here, folks, real quick. And I do kind of hope you guys enjoyed my little Hulk Hogan impersonation there of my little pointing out towards the, pointing away from the, okay, so apparently some people want Crystal on the network, folks, so we'll bring her on next. Well, it might be a bit better, folks. So, folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we will have the Fabulous Forum up next. We'll have possibly, folks, Shorty Mama 24 and Crystal Thomas up next. Coming up here in about 10 minutes here, folks, right here on your home on your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home of the WNBA and your two-time WNBA champion LA Sparks. Final score again tonight, folks, the Mercury 93 and the Sparks 73. The Mercury win their 14th straight game and are the first club to win 20 games this season, folks. So we'll take a break. We'll be back here, folks, in a few moments here, right here on the LA Sparks 365 Network.